Hello. Welcome to the stream. I'm so sorry for the wait. I was stuck in the bathroom. Which I know you don't want to know. Nobody asked. Nobody needed to know that. However, I'm going to be gone for a week, okay? And I feel compelled to tell you things so that you remember me fondly. Like that I was pooping for a long time. You're welcome. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. I leave for America tomorrow. As always, every single time I'm about to go somewhere else, I do not feel prepared. I don't feel prepared. It doesn't matter how much I try to prepare ahead of time. I always in some way or another feel like I'm just not quite there yet. So, you know, I spent most of this morning making sure we had everything in the house for the cats and the chickens because my mother-in-law is going to be taking care of them. And then I was like, you know, I should probably put together like a couple lick mats for them. You know, things to like lower anxiety while we're gone. If, you know, most likely they're barely gonna care. But I'm like, I should do a couple of those little towels with the treats in them, you know, and I'll just tell my mother-in-law, like, give them one of these things while we're gone, you know, every other day or something, give them a thing to do. Yeah, you know, that sort of stuff. And then I was like, well, I should probably deep clean the coop. Haven't done that in a while. I should probably pressure wash the coop. And then found out that my father-in-law is currently borrowing the wand that goes to the pressure washer. So now I'm like, oh my gosh, these poor chickens, they're not going to have a nice clean coop while I'm gone. Even though I can just clean it normally, but my brain got so stuck on like, I need to pressure wash it. I have to. You know. My cats didn't care about the towel with treats. No! Oh. Did they give up on it? Was it like, were they just like, I don't know what this is. My cats go absolutely full on about treats. So they knew once they like sniffed it and realized there were treats in there, they did not leave that shit alone. Hi. I was just talking about you. What are you doing? What are you both doing? Why are you both jumping up here? Why is your little heart going so fast? What's happening? What's going on? Okay. I'm gonna miss you guys. But, you know. Your cat mother-in-law is, or cat grandma-in-law? I don't know, whatever. Your cat grandma is gonna take care of you. You're gonna be fine. Small burnt marshmallow. That is what she looks like. That's what you look like. I watched a video on how to make burnt marshmallow meringue. It was literally they made meringue and then every now and then while it was stirring, they'd just torch it. They'd torch the whole top of the meringue and then just stir it again and then torch it and then stir it again until it tastes like burnt marshmallow. I was like, that's so smart. Is there deadbeats again today? Oh. Later dead. Yes, there is. No. Got that Final Fantasy girl. There we go. My hair looks nice. Thank you. I was going to put product in it and then I was like, but it's so clean right now. It's so clean. I'm just going to... It's fine. One of my friends called my Siamese cat a burnt marshmallow or burnt toast. Are you more of a marshmallow or more of a toast? I think you're more of a marshmallow. What do you think? She doesn't know. She doesn't know. She just knows she's happy to be here. Burnt loaf. Cute. Cute. I'm trying to decide if I want to move the litter robot while we're gone. In my mind, it's like, if my mother-in-law is in a hurry, it would probably be nice if all of the things that she has to do are all like in the same area, right? So I'm kind of like, should I move the litter robot downstairs so that it's more easily accessible? But the litter robot doesn't fill up for like 4 days. She's only gonna have to empty it once while we're gone, you know? So it probably doesn't matter if we're being real. They're used to it at that place. I know, I'm just trying to make things convenient. Just trying to make things convenient, you know? What's a litter robot? Oh, the love of my life. It's a very, very expensive litter box that has already paid for itself, in my opinion. It's an automated litter box. It looks like a Saiyan pod, like from Dragon Ball. But every time a cat goes to the toilet in there and then leaves, it spins and gets all of the clumps out and then spins back and puts all of the litter back in. So it's always clean. It's amazing. I waste way less litter. I only empty it once every 4 or 5 days when it tells me that it's full. And it's great. I love it. Yeah, it's a sweet little mech that gobbles up poop. I don't know why I had to say it that way. Why the honking? Not me. One time there was somebody who had rang the doorbell a few times and they were just outside and started honking the horn over and over and over again. So sometimes if I can hear a honk, I go, uh-oh, and check my phone to make sure nobody has been ringing the doorbell. They haven't. Can we get a pill bug update? I haven't heard about them in a while. Yeah, we talked about them not that long ago. The reason you haven't heard anything in a while is because there's like a mycelium situation in that jar. I only see baby pill bugs in there now. They're only baby isopods. The adult ones I have not seen for a very long time. I don't know if they reached the end of their life or what, but there are no adults in there anymore. Only babies, and there's definitely some kind of like a white spore that is in there that is apparently normal. But yeah. I've never shown it to... Hold on. I'm going to show it to you because I've never shown it to you before. One sec. So this is it. Do you see all of this that's going on in here and all of this white stuff? That was not there before. That's definitely some kind of like some sort of a fungus that's growing in there. So that's interesting. We have to clip these a lot. These grow really fast. And yeah, we haven't seen an adult in here in a really long time. There's also, do you see all of that like brown stuff there? That was not there before. These These little branches are in here, and there's now something, whatever that ground cover is, it's now growing onto the branches. So yeah, that's really interesting. I don't know what all is going on in here. But there are no adult isopods anymore. They've been eaten up by something or just died naturally. Adding springtails will help. They destroy fungus. Do I want it destroyed though? I don't know. Seems like there's a whole process going on in here now. The fungus will eventually eat everything in there. That's okay. I'm fine with that. Are the fungus beneficial or harmful? I have no idea. No clue. But it's... You know... There's a circle of life. There's a whole life cycle happening in here. And I would really just love to see what happens, I guess. Do you water it? No, it's a terrarium, so it's self-sustaining, which is why I'm really surprised that the situation that's happening in here happened. I don't know if something went wrong or if something went like right. I don't know. Something certainly went. Yeah. Something went. It's nature. It's nature in a jar. So sometimes nature is scary. Yeah, last time that I talked about this, another person who has isopods was like, they can eat fungus. It just depends on like what type it is, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see. Watson, what is this new thing that you insist on doing where you just walk on my keyboard? Why do you do that? You were so good at dodging it for so long, and now you just don't bot. Look at your leg! Watson, your hair's growing back in your leg. That's so great. Okay, I'm sorry. Here we go. Her back is still trying to heal up, but her leggy's growing back. That's great. Leggy up, leggy up. Thank you for all of you trying to commune with my sweet cat. Did something happen to Watson? Watson, anxiety licks. So Watson has specific spots on her body that she will just lick until it's skin, which is sad. So I'm always very happy. I try to keep her occupied. I try to give her things to do. I try to play with her. I try to keep her active. You know, just anything I can think of to help her like mental place, which is one of the things I'm worried about leaving for a week. But she'll be okay. She just might need more like you know, we just might need to like give her a lot of attention when we get back. I got my boy a onesie when his anxiety meds came in. It's real fun to watch them stumble around. Yeah, I've tried to put a sweater on Watson to keep her from licking certain spots, and she peed on our bed. So I was like, Got it. Got it. You hate that. I understand. Thank you for the information. Yeah. She's not having it. And then I tried putting it on her again. I got a slightly bigger one because the one that we had was like a little small. I got her a slightly bigger one, and she immediately just ripped it off of herself. So I was like, okay, all right. I don't know what to do then. It's a reasonable response. She's like, I know how to communicate with you in one way and one way only. If I'm happy with you, I pee in the box. If I'm unhappy with you, I pee where I want. Yeah, I do think if something was like specifically made for her, this seems extra to do maybe. But if something was specifically made for her and she didn't feel, because when she walks around, she obviously feels like her range of motion is weird. The last couple of times that I've tried to put her in something, she behaves that way. And I keep thinking if I could put her in something where it didn't feel like she had to walk differently, maybe she would be fine, but I don't know. I don't know. You know? You know? You feel me? No clothy, only naked. Yep, that's what she said to me. Da 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 da. How's my week been? A little stressful. Because we've been trying to get bank and house and mortgage stuff like as far along as possible before we leave. We're leaving tomorrow. I still don't feel like everything got sorted properly. But we've kind of just been told like, well, you know, we've all done our best. So go on your trip and, you know, yeah, trying to get everything ready for the animals while we're gone, making sure that we have, you know, our rental car sorted and all of that sort of stuff. It's just such a pain in the ass. I'm very glad to be going and seeing friends and seeing our family. Jeannie has offered to put us up for a night so that we can see as many friends as possible before we go to the desert. So that's great. She's put out the bat signal so people can come over and say what's up if they are free. So that'll be fun. Yeah, I think once we're there, it'll be great. It's just, you know, tomorrow we have a really long flight with a 4-year-old to look forward to. But she did really, honestly, like she did so well when I did this flight with her by myself. She did really well. And she's very excited to be on a plane again. Which says to me that she has good memories of the flight last time. So that's great. I'm so glad. And this time it'll be all 3 of us. So, you know, I don't have to just like conjure up patience from a pit that is empty. Because I was like, should we get one of those fucking... So there are... if you have a child and you're going to have a long trip ahead of you where you're going to stand in a bunch of lines and shit and you don't have a suitcase for them yet, look into Trunkies, Trunki. You'll see them all over the airport. A lot of people get them, but they're literally suitcases that are designed to be ridden. So your child can just ride on them. And when you're in queue, your child can just sit on them and chill, right? So keeping in mind that Sam and I are currently trying to save money because we have this house purchase, right? I was like, should we get Clark a Trunky? And Sam was like, no, I'll just carry her in every queue. Fantastic. I will remind you that you said that. I'll remind you that you said that when we're standing in line for an hour. I'll remind you of these things that you said. Yeah. He's like, I've been working out. All this, I'm built different now. I'll just carry her. Sure. Okay. All right. She also, he said it in front of Clark as well. It's like, honey, if you don't want to stand when we're in queue, I'll just carry you. And she was like, okay. And I went, okay. No turning back now. It's locked and loaded, dude. We've basically signed contracts. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. We just need to make sure that we have, she has headphones, but I have no idea where the cord for them is, which is so cool. So we're gonna try to find the cord for the headphones, so that she can like play games and stuff. We'll like preload as much as we can and bring coloring books and just anything we can think of to like occupy her time. Blair, thank you so much for the raid. Hello everybody. Welcome. We're talking about what it's like to travel with a 4-year-old. I hope you had a good stream. We're getting on a plane tomorrow to go to America for a week to see my family. It'll be Sam's first time going back to America since we moved here, so like 3-ish years. Over 3 years? Oh my god. Yeah. A while. It's been a while. But yeah, we should have an opportunity to see friends. I was trying to figure out if I could see Jesse, but it sounds like it might not work out, but that's okay because I think he's going to be in England in a couple of months here, so it's fine. I was like, I don't even care because I'm going to accost you when you're in London and it'll be fine. And hopefully by then we'll have a house. I don't know, maybe. I don't like you anyway. Yeah. It's not like we're friends. Yeah, he's got some kind of an event that he's going to with a couple of the other boys. So he was like, hey, what are these? I got bit by the largest vampire. Yeah, he has some kind of a convention that they're doing like a panel at maybe, or I don't know, something like that. Oh, yeah, very wide van, just a really big like I guess not that wide. Maybe modern media has really been like overselling how close those bites would be to each other. Cause like, and then this is my other guy, right? If I bit somebody, you wouldn't have to have much more of like a teeth wingspan than I have in order to do this, right? It's a very awkward angle though. Yeah, where'd this person's nose go? Like this, nose straight into my jaw. It looks like they attempted the bite and then were like, this is awkward, and then gave up. An extendy mouth, like in Predator. But then the wingspan. No, that doesn't work. didn't taste very good. That tracks. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense that I wouldn't. Maybe you're like one of those noseless vampires. Oh, like a bat? They have a full-on bat face. Yeah, that could be it. I like it. Yeah, exactly. I eat way too much garlic for the average vampire to be like, yeah, that looks good. That looks delicious. They remove their nose so they can't smell the garlic. That would be dangerous. Doesn't the garlic, like, burn them? You would need to be able to smell them for protection. Remember when Morbin was a thing? I do. I do vividly because I had never heard that goof before, and then we started Deadbeats, and Joe was playing a Dampier character who's like a half vampire kind of thing. And every single fucking joke about his character was a Morbin joke. And I was like, what is this? So I found out what Morbin was through people making fun of Joe, and that's beautiful. I like the alternate lore that says vampires spread the garlic thing themselves because garlic thins the blood. Ooh, that's fun. More bin day. Oh my god. We missed it. We missed bin day, yeah. It was more bin day. Oh my god. That should be a secondary bin day, like, thing that we make. It's just a really unflattering picture of Morbius. And then it just says, is it more bin day? And bin is just massive. Oh yeah, I've seen the Joe Dark and Darker clip. I watched it about 4 times and then I spread it in Brett's chat. Joe's upset. If you haven't seen it, it's a clip of Joe being an absolute monster. Wait, I'll put it in our Discord. I'll put it in Discord. Even when I lose my... I'm putting it in stream clips. Bam. There we go. Hi. Ooh, you're nice and warm. His tail says stop. This is Sherlock. He's a big boy, and I love him. Yeah, he's my baby boy. Beep, 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 beep. Chaka, chaka, chaka. A unit. An absolute unit. Oh. He just smacked me with his tail. How old is he? About 13, we think. Because I got him in 2011 and he was already at least a year old. And now it's 2023, so. Hi. My big boy just hopped from my lap and left a cloud of cat hairs. I was watching, I love those videos of, if you guys have seen the cat brushes where you brush, and then you hit a button and the hair that was on the brush just like dislodges, right? Pressing the button makes all of the bits like retract, so the hair just falls off in like a patty, basically. I love watching videos of that, because my cats would never. Both of my cats hate being brushed so much. So much. I'm like, if only I could just convince y'all to let me brush you. Watson I get, because she's got all these sores and things from licking herself too much, right? I get that. Sherlock? Just let me brush you, dude. Let me pamper you. What's the problem? He says, now. My cat hated being brushed as well, and one day I snuck the brush behind him and started brushing, and he realized how great it was. My sister made a hat from their hair one time. Oh my god. I love that. Like, felted it. I want to make Sherlock a hat out of his hair. That would be so cute. They're both short hairs, so I'm not going to get much out of it, you know? Are you gonna miss me? Are you gonna miss me? He says, ah. He will. Sherlock gets really weird when I'm not in the house. Sam has informed me that when I'm gone for a day, Sherlock just walks around the house going, meow, 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 meow. Like, where are you? Where did you go, dude? So. Good girl. She says, I am a good girl. Where is my treat? Oh, there it is. Watson. She says, absolutely. Okay. No, it's over there. Dude, it's over there. It's over there. It's over there. Sherlock, it's behind you. Look. The actual opposite of pointer dogs. Me like, there, there. And they're like, he found it. Oh my goodness. Good job, guys. Good job. His white whale. It's like, I'll never forget this. There was a treat. I know there was. Where did it go? It's literally behind him. Me with my 2-year-old. Look at that. That over there. I'm begging you. I use it's a Sony camera. My husband got it for me. I do not know what it's called. Every time somebody asks me, I stare at the camera to see if I can figure out from the things. It's Sony, and then there's an alpha symbol, if that's helpful. And then it says APS-C. If that's helpful. I don't know if it is. My husband got it for me. So, I did not buy this. I don't know anything about it. Letters! I love letters. Da 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 da. Ba 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 ba. Oh my god, that's such an expensive camera. Yeah. I remember Sam saying it was expensive. I have no idea how much it was, though. Don't tell me. I don't want to know. It's at least £3. I said I don't want to know. As much as a trunkie. More than a trunkie for sure. Trunkies are like 30 to 40 bucks, I think. $12 billion bottle caps and half a sandwich. I don't know what I would do with 12 billion bottle caps, but I'd figure it out. Especially if every bottle cap was different. Oh my god. If it was a variety of bottle caps, I'd figure out something to do with them, dude. This is a need-based economy. And I do not need bottle caps, but I will take them. What kind of sandwich? Who cares about the sandwich, guys? I want the bottle caps. A sandwich is for but a moment. Bottle caps could be forever with enough resin, you know? That sounds like hoarding. It sure does. It sure does. Bottle caps are currency in the Fallout universe. So what you're saying is that if shit starts to go south, I need to go to my grandpa's shop and take out that giant bucket of resistors and be like, I'm going to turn this into a currency. I'm not joining forces with Jesse. No. He's pitched himself as too much of a wild card in the apocalypse. And I don't need chaos beyond the chaos that's already going to exist, like, outside of my nest, right? I need someone to hit things. That's Sam. And I need someone to focus on agriculture, and that's me. So, and I don't know, whatever my kid decides she wants to do. She's apparently winning every maths game that they play at school right now. So if a currency does get established, that'll be her job. She'll be our treasurer. Would you rather Jesse in here with you or out there doing who knows what? If Jesse is gonna bring bullshit back to the nest, he's not allowed. Yeah, Clarky's our bottle cap accountant. I will accept Jesse to the commune once he's had like this whole character arc where, like, you know, he's doing whatever he wants, chaos reigns, bullshit, whatever, and then he like falls in love or something, and then his love is taken from him, and he realizes, like, wow, I got that person killed, you know? And then he, like, needs to find some stability, but he's still at war with the chaos within. We can accept him then. Not right off the bat, though. I don't want to deal with that. Like that this arc has to include his lover's death. I know, I'm falling into pitfalls. All the same pitfalls that everybody does. This hypothetical apocalyptic arc has gotten so detailed. Look, if I say I don't want Jesse's chaotic bullshit back at my sweet dystopian commune, and then I get a bunch of pushback on it in chat, then fine. I'll create a situation where I'm fine with it, where Jesse can join us and he can benefit from, you know, the society that we're trying to create here. Well, who knows what is going on outside of our barbed wire walls. But I don't want him right off the bat. He's made it very clear that he craves chaos when a dystopia is going to occur. And that's not... I don't need that shit, okay? Not like she left him. She has to die. I'm just trying to figure out how to devastate him so much that he, like, reprioritizes. But you know, that's the pitfall, isn't it? That's the writer's pitfall of being like, how do I make this, you know, a true hero's journey? Well, someone's got to die. Is it going to be his wife or is it going to be his mom? I fell into the same shit. Mm-hmm. I need him to, yeah. Yeah, I need him broken down to his core elements, right? I need everything to just, like, be ripped from him so that he can come to us and be like, I've lost everything. I need the stability. And he'll try really hard for a while, you know. He'll find his place with us. He'll figure it out. And then somebody from his past shows up and is like, Jesse, I found the guy. And then he's at war with himself. Do I pursue the guy? Do I make my life about revenge? Or do I hold on to this peace that I've found here with people that I love and friends and a new family? And then that's up to him, which way he goes, you know? Oh no, I'm invested. But then what? Yeah, look, we'll workshop it. We don't need to kill a female character in order for him to have his character growth. That's lazy. We can do something different. But I'm not a writer, so. We gotta drag this topic up in Jesse's stream. Feel free. You can tell him word for word everything that I said. Jesse reacts. No. Look, why do you think I'm buying a farm? Why do you think we're getting a farm? It's starting now. I was raised by preppers. There's a part of me that was always gonna go this direction, you know? My parents are preppers, not were preppers. They are preppers, 100%. They are ready. If shit goes down, they are ready. Like, hey. How long do you build the walls? Well, we'll already need to like think about building really good fences around everything because there are so many little kids in our family. So I've already had to think about this. Guys, what are we doing? What's happening? They normally do this if they're hungry, but they're not. Mm-hmm. Yep. What are we doing, guys? What's the plan here, huh? Okay, Watson's going in the window. Sherlock is sitting literally right here. Back to me. They know you'll be gone soon. I don't think that there's any like visual indicators that we'll be gone soon, but that's okay. They've been doing this a lot lately. This like, I need to be all up in your business. Look at him. His tail. Let me go. It's vibes. It's just vibes, dude. Oh my gosh, I did see that. I've also been sent, Dojum's also sent me a Duke Detective emote. Wait, yeah, hold on. Let me add all of these that people have made. Okay, Duke Detective with a capital T. Duke Detective is now on the channel. That's from Dojum's. And then let me see. Was it in fan art? Yeah. What is it called? Cookie? Because I don't think it says on here what it's called. Sherlock pet and Watson pet. Okay, hold on. You fill me up, you fill me up. You set my soul ablaze. Cute. Okay, Watson pet is on there now. And so is Sherlock pet. Capital S, capital P, and then capital W, capital P. Cute. Those are very cute, Cookie. Thank you. Oh my goodness. I love BTTV emotes. I love that just everybody can have them and people can just make them and be like, you want this? It's just fun. Can you show the mobile folks? Yeah. One sec. I'll show you the GIF that Cookie put in fan art. This is the Sherlock one. So it's this, but with a white kitty instead of a black kitty for the Watson one. It's very cute. Why does it keep stopping? It's getting upset. I don't know what 7TV is. Is there a reason to use that instead of BTTV, or do people use it with BTTV? What is it? It's an alternative that has more emote slots. It's just extra emotes. Oh. I mean, I have so many emote slots on BTTV. So if that's the big benefit, is more slots, then I don't know that it's worth it. Hold on. I gotta blow my nose. Even when I lose my head. Well, no, people are saying that you can make it so 7TV routes through BTTV, or you can use 7TV emotes through BTTV. So it doesn't sound like people would need a new extension. I'm not seeing anything in chat that's making me go, oh, I should download that, you know? Hi, Jossum. Ba, 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 ba. Have any of you guys used Give Back Box? It's basically a system where when you get something in the mail that comes in a box, you can then fill the box up with stuff that you want to donate and then go onto the website, I guess, and then get a label printed off that you put on the box that's like prepaid, and then the system will like find an organization near you to like donate the stuff to. I know. It seems very cool. I've had the tab up for a while. Yeah, open your box, unpack your merch from the box, obtain a prepaid shipping label, pack the box up, fill it with clothing or household goods that you no longer need, and then attach the prepaid shipping label provided to the box and ship as usual. It's cute. It's a cute idea. If it works. I just don't know anybody who's like used it other than the people that have like made little videos and stuff about them. Guillotine. Bumbity dum bumbity. Bumbity dum bumba. Song gets stuck in your head real easy. Guillotine. Even when I lose my head. That detective emote is very cute. Hi. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Why are we scratching so much? Can I look? I have such flea paranoia. I haven't had fleas in years, but like just the one time we had a flea problem has scared me for any time they scratch. I'm like, what are you scratching for? What are you scratching about? What's going on over there? Hi. Oh, hi. Hello. Yeah? What's going on? Hi. They're grooming each other. It's very cute. You're missing it. Please don't sit on my keyboard. I love you both so much. What are we gonna do today, guys? I know I said that we were gonna look at more demos again, but how long is vacation? A week. We'll be in America. We leave tomorrow, Saturday to Saturday. So we get on the plane to go there tomorrow, and we get on the plane to come back on Friday, but we lose a day coming back to England. Hey. What's going on? Why all the scritching? You okay? 8 hours difference, yep. Yeah. Next normal stream that we do will be on the 20th. Will be my first stream back. Oh my god. I've already played a game called Kind Words. My kiddo was watching a video of it the other day. The bit I saw seemed cute. I don't think so. I don't think I've heard of it. Is Clark excited? Yeah, she's very excited to go. She's very excited. She doesn't remember how boring the plane gets after a while. But hopefully she'll sleep on the plane, at least a bit. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 da, da. Ba, 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 ba. Sorry. Sam's about to kick down the door and be like, what is happening in here? I told Clark that I was going to do a singing exam, and she was like, okay, I have to be there. I said, what do you mean? She goes, I have to be there when you perform. And I said, I don't think that you can be there when I perform, but I'll do a separate performance for you. And she was not satisfied with that. So I'm just going to have to pretend, I guess. I'm going to be like, this is the performance, Clark. Ignore that it's just you and Daddy here right now today. This is the real performance. And she'll be like, yay! I said, yeah. I've chosen 2 out of my 3 songs. So I'll, as I, you know, get them performance ready, I'll perform them for you and you can give me feedback. And she was like, okay, I'll tell you if the song is bad and if you need a different song. And I said, I don't think I'm going to swap songs. I think I'm locking those songs in, actually. Basically, I don't think that we do this in America. In England, I might not explain this properly, but basically, like, you can do exams to gain accolades in extracurriculars or hobbies that you have. So, for example, with this singing thing, if I was a student, and I wanted to have some sort of an accolade in singing, I could take this exam, get the thingy that's like, good job, you crushed it, you did the exam. And then when I'm trying to figure out what I want to do going forward, I can use that as like kind of a chip to add points into my bucket, right? To say like, yeah, I sucked at math. Yeah, so what? I don't know history. I'm crushing it at singing. And they'll be like, noted. So you can do that with lots of things. There are lots of things you can take exams for. Clark is currently in a ballet class, and I was just recently informed, like, yeah, they're working on like a routine for an exam. And I was like, now? They're 4 and 5 years old. But like, those sorts of things are just available to you to start doing really early on if you want to. If you like put a lot of time and energy into a thing, you can get something to say, I've put a lot of time and energy into this thing. Here's proof, basically. So for example, and I'm sort of like simplifying this, but like Sam's little sister knew that she wanted to do agriculture of some kind with her future really early on, and went to her parents and was like, I already know that this is what I want to do. I think it's kind of a waste of time for me to be like having to do all of this other bullshit. So when she reached the age where you can say like, I'm going to pursue the rest of like high school essentially, or I'm going to drop out and do trade school, she basically just immediately started doing agriculture stuff. And so then when she was applying to higher learning agriculture schools, she could say like, yeah, I ditched high school, but look at all this shit I did. Right? Look at all this other shit I did that has to do with agriculture, which is what you teach, right? So like, surely this matters. And they were like, that does matter. That matters a lot, actually. We love that you did that, right? So there's like different ways to go about like pursuing what you're interested in, other than being like, if I'm bad at math, then I just can't go to university. So, which, you know, I've been pretty open about the fact that I think sometimes people are pressured to go to university when they don't need to. Not everybody needs to go to college and university, but if the sort of work that you want to do necessitates more education, and you're able to get that education by being like, I didn't bother with this shit, I bothered a lot with this shit, I think that's kind of a cool option, right? So anyways, I'm taking singing lessons right now, And my teacher was like, you should do an exam. And I was like, I'm an adult though. I'm an adult though. And she said, yeah, it would just be for fun. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Yeah, great. I'll take an exam just for fun. Because it's kind of like, I was equating it to drawing. I was like, I've been drawing my whole life. And I know that if I took like figure drawing and anatomy and things like that, I would probably excel much more at like skewing things on purpose. And she was like, yeah, it's exactly how singing is, right? So you can take these exams and you're probably going to hit a point where you're like, this is so constricting because they want you to perform it in a hyper specific way. They want you to like notate exactly what it is you're going to do in the song and like how you're singing it and all of this shit, right? But you learn a lot of the technicals by being sort of constrained that way and having them say like, do it this way. And then in the future, you can be like, okay, so that's the way that's like the normal way to do it. And now I'm going to do things differently on purpose, So she said, you're probably going to learn a lot by preparing songs for an exam. And then once the exam's done, then you can just be like, fuck it, I'll never sing that song that way again. Exams for fun? Yeah, a singing exam? That sounds fun to me, yeah. Because I've wanted to take singing lessons forever. And I finally am. I'm 35, and I'm taking a singing lesson finally. And I love my teacher. And the first song that we're working on is super fun to sing. And I'm learning a lot while I'm singing it, so... I think the other song, the second song that I'm going to try to learn that is one of the one of the songs that's like in the book that they would like for you to do for a technical focus is Take Me to Church. I was like, I want to do that song. And she was like, yeah. So that's the other song I'm going to try to learn. And then the third one, I asked if I could do a musical. I was like, is there a faux pas to doing like different genres? And she was like, no, definitely not. I was like, great. Can I do a musical? She was like, yes. So that'll be fun. I don't know. She said I should go for a modern musical song. I don't know a lot of modern musicals. I haven't seen, she said, yeah, I have a lot of students who do like Hamilton. I was like, I've never seen Hamilton. And I'm not the sort of person that will listen to the music if I haven't seen the show. So I've never listened to the Hamilton music. I haven't seen the show. I don't know anything about it. I know about Dear Evan Hansen because I've watched a lot of videos roasting it. Have not actually seen it. have not actively listened to the music. I don't know a lot of modern musicals, to be honest. But I'm sure I could find something that would be fun. Yeah, I thought Hades Town I've also never seen. But I've heard that it's great. Cats isn't modern. Cats isn't modern. Yeah, so I'll find something. I said that I would find some songs and then send them to her and she could let me know, because she was like, it needs to be like about this. Each exam is meant to be for a certain a certain level of education in that subject, right? So she was like, yeah, it would just need to be a musical song that is around the same technical difficulty as On and On and Take Me to Church. And I was like, I do not know how to gauge that. She's like, that's fine. Just send me songs. I'll be able to tell you. Cats is a Greek classic. It's one of the classics, yeah. Take Me to Church is spicy. It is. I like it. Your teacher sounds lovely. She's awesome. She's one of those teachers. I'm always fascinated by people like this because I know that teaching another person is exhausting. I know that, right? She's the sort of person where we go overtime every single time I go there because she wants so badly to teach her student something, right? She just really loves teaching. I totally forgot that we were supposed to have a lesson on Tuesday. And I was at this event, right? And I had a text from her like, hey, where are you? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to waste your time. I'm at an event right now. I will not make it. I am so sorry. Charge me the cancellation fee. It's, you know, whatever. And she was like, no, it's fine. Are you free Thursday? We can do Thursday. And I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, I was just really looking forward to our lesson. So it's fine. We'll just do it Thursday instead. Like, what? Yeah. And every single time I go there and we do a lesson, we go like 15 to 20 minutes over. Cause she's like, oh, do you have time? I would just love for you to like do this one last thing and then I'll let you go. Right? Like, she's not the sort of teacher that's like constantly checking the clock. Like, oh my God, I can't wait until this is over, you know? Yeah, it's just lovely. You can tell that she just really loves teaching music. It's super cool. Yeah, she's great. Very, very sweet. That was a big shit. Oh my God. That's the one thing about the litter robot is when it tumbles, you can hear whatever the like clumped up bits are in there, you hear them like fall into the basin, right? And sometimes it is so loud. Sometimes it's like a rock got dumped in there. Yeah, a thud. A loud thud. Feeling kind of hungry. Which kitty dropped the bomb? Probably Sherlock. Out of the two of them, which one which one drops the logs? It's Sherlock, yeah. Are we doing study hall or just hanging? I don't know. I don't know what I feel kind of like mentally burnt out today. I think again because I've just been like worrying about shit all week. So I'm not really sure what I want to do. Nice cozy chat stream. Yeah, we could do a nice cozy chat stream for a bit. Dark and darker with friends. I had also thought of that. I don't know if anybody's available. Eric's is playing? Oh my god. I miss Dark and Darker. I'm curious if you enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. Yeah, I haven't played it since I played it with Joe and Octo. Chair is suspiciously not green. It's a blankie. It's a blankie. I did not play Town Seek, no. Strippin showed some clips of Joe being a menace in that game. Yeah, I linked a clip in our stream chat. It is a little bit fuzzy. You can see the... You know? It's a little bit fuzzy. Yeah, Sam got this one for me and a black one for him. I have not seen his blanket in a long time. I don't know what's happened to it. I'm hoping I would like a situation where the blankets in our home situation, they get put all over the place, which is fine. You know, we wrap up a child in a blankie and it goes into another room, and then, you know, maybe it's cold outside and we grab a blankie from the living room and take it to the car, and it sits in the car for like a full week before we go, ooh, should wash that, take it out, we wash it, we hang it up, but you know, it gets hung up upstairs, and so then it goes on one of the beds, but originally it was in the living room, and now there are no blankies in the living room. Where did all the blankies go, right? Blankies just go all over the place in this house. I would love I would love if there was like something, just a basket or something in my office and in Sam's office that was like, this is where the blankies that belong in these offices go, you know? There's a basket in our living room that is meant to be for blankies, but the living room is so high traffic that things just get taken out of there all the time, so. Sam and I were watching a video where someone was like, I can't remember where they live, but they were like, yeah, where I live, it's like really common for, you know, if two people sleep in the same bed, they each have their own duvets, and that way they can choose like how heavy or how light they want their duvet to be. And I was like, oh my God. Sam was like, why have we never done that? We should each have our own duvets. I was like, I know, that's so smart. Because Sam hates how heavy I want. Like, he likes the heaviness, but he gets hot too easy, right? So like, he likes to have a heavy blankie that is optional, and then like a really light duvet that is his ideal situation. For me, I want one thick ass duvet, and that's it. So I was like, we could change our lives. We could move and just get two smaller duvets, and then I could actually wash them at home instead of having to take them somewhere to get them washed. And then we would never have to like share blankies again. And you know, since I'm like I love a bit of hand sewing, I could just make little labels for them in case for whatever reason, at a glance, we can't figure out whose is whose. You just put a little label on one that says Sam, one that says Brooke, one that says Clark, you know, and we know whose is whose after they've been washed. I find it weird people don't have separate duvets. So I think, I don't know how to describe this. I think for some people mentally it feels like you're giving up some intimacy. Like to share just a big blankie and be like snuggled up with a person feels more intimate than we sleep in the same bed but we each have our own duvets. Which I don't, you know, I don't think that it, I understand why that is, but I will 100% have my own blankie. That sounds great. Yes, I had thought that too. I'm gonna just get Sam like a queen size duvet just for him because he's a big man. It's more intimate to be like, can I see what it's like in your blankie? May I? May I come into your blankie, please? Little blankie labels makes me feel emotional. It'd be cute, right? Little matching labels that have our names on them. I think that would be cute. Hi, you okay? You are running all over the place. Your tail's going wild. What's happening with you? You okay? Maybe there is a vibe. Is there a vibe in the house? Is there a vibe in the studio? Come on then. Goodness. Yeah. The first time I slept in a bed with another person, they told me that I breathe so softly that they were worried that I was just not breathing. It's like the opposite of snoring. So there's that. Yeah, I'm a stealth breather. That happened to me too when I slept with some friends. I didn't move at all. They were concerned. I love that. Yeah, Sam's a full-on snorer. And I'm a stealth breather, I guess. Oh my god, the bed that we were in at the lodge was not a Sam-friendly bed. When we went to Warwick Castle and they put us up in the lodges on the castle grounds. At one point he was like, you know, I'm wide awake because of my sleep schedule. I could just drive us home. And I was like, I guess if you don't think you'll be able to sleep. And he was like, no, never mind. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just sleep. We'll sleep here. It's fine. I'll be fine. I was like, okay. It was like 1 a.m. I was like, I'm so tired. I just want to stay in this cute little lodge on the castle grounds, please. But in the morning, I was like, how'd you sleep? And he was like, well, I woke up at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 o'clock. But I'm fine. My sweet love. So shout out to the Big and Talls. The Big and Talls in chat right now. solidarity with my poor husband. Castle trip pictures. I think the ones you've seen are the same ones that Sam showed on Twitter. My phone's dead. I think they're the same ones that were on Twitter, so. Has Sam ever pulled you up on how you say Warwick? No. But I was around a lot of people that night, and other people said it the exact same way I did. So, so you can take it up with the entirety of the group I was with. I say it the same way. Thank you. I've never heard it pronounced anything other than Warwick. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I can see that. Y'all love to just like take letters out and be like, those aren't in the word though. They're emotional support letters. The second W is for decoration. Yes. When we were there, they had a bunch of like skulls with antlers on the walls in the buildings, and Sam was like, do you think those are real? And I was like, I don't know, they're too high up for us to check. And he suddenly had like a weird memory of, there was a company in America, I assume they still do it, there's a company in America that takes skulls that they find out in nature and then carves into them, and they're gorgeous. And I, a long time ago, was like, Sam, I want one of these. They're incredibly expensive, but I want one, and one day I will have one. And he was like, that's weird. That's weird that you want that. That's a weird thing to want in your house, I think. It's weird. And it like unlocked a weird memory for him, us looking at these skulls like, didn't you say you want one of these? I do. I still do, Sam. I will have one day. Because I showed them to my mother-in-law, aka your mom, and she said, those are beautiful, I want one. And guess what? We're all moving onto the same piece of property, Sam. And if there's anything I know about your mom, it's that her personality has the force and drive of about 3 people. So we will have the majority in this decision. My cat's names are Sherlock and Watson. The one that looks like a burnt marshmallow is Watson. That's how I'm always going to think of it now. Yeah, his mom is the one that got me a coupon for a taxidermy class as well. Yeah. That was right before COVID, though, so we never got to go. RIP. Someone in chat said it earlier. And now I'm like, she is like a little burnt marshmallow. She's so cute. Hi, Bretu. Can we see Watson? Sure. Come here, cutie pie. This is Watson. This is my little marshmallow. She's cute. Look at her eyes. Mwah. I have seen the skulls by Jack of Dust. Yeah, I've followed Jack of Dust for a very long time, actually. Watson, if you look up Flame Point Siamese, you'll see other Siamese cats with like this kind of coloring on the tail and this sort of coloring in the face. Flame Point. She's a Flame Point. We found her in the bushes. And she's very sweet. Yeah, some of our friends still call her Bush Cat. If you want to see what she looked like when she was a baby when we found her, you can look up the vlog Welcome Home Watson Kitty. It'll come up. She was a dirty little gremlin. I mean, we don't know how she got into the bush situation. But she was stuck in the bushes outside of our work for a few days before people finally were like, okay, we need to chase this cat out of here. And I took her to the vet. And they were like, from what we can tell from like blood work and stuff, she doesn't have anything that she can give your other cat if you want to adopt her. And I was like, okay, I will. And I took her home. It was a long time ago. 9 years. 9 years ago. Yeah, it was funny because I had just recently said to a couple of friends that also worked there, I was like, I have Sherlock. I would love to have a Watson. You know, if it works out that way. Sherlock's like this big black cat. It would be so funny if, you know, I went to a shelter and I found like a little white cat of some kind. And then we just found this little white cat stuck in the bushes and needed a home. And I was like, okay, I guess that's mine now. I'll take her home. Yeah, I just spoke it into existence, I guess. Yeah, Bree was talking about how her cat, one of her cats has just recently started like noticing the cat in the mirror, so to speak. And I was talking about how when I first got Sherlock, he was so freaked out by the mirror that we called his reflection Moriarty. I was like, that was good. That was a good goof. That was a good goof we did. That was funny shit. Oh my god. Bam ba-dam bam bam ba-dam bam ba-dam bam bam ba. Guillotine. Was there a bink? Was there a ding on my computer? Nothing popped up for me. A USB ding? I have no idea why, but that's fine. I keep trying to get rid of you. I thought yesterday that today you were gone for vacay. Yeah, we've had a couple of people show up and be like, aren't you gone? Yesterday, people were asking that. Nope, not yet. Saturday I leave. Goodbye. So you have to deal with me today, and then tomorrow I am gone. Yeah, I'm moving to America. I'm never coming back. We're leaving. Yeah, I mean, I believe you guys. I believe that there's a thing that happened. I just didn't plug or unplug anything, so computers do that sometimes. Just a week, just while Clark is on half-term break. So, 1 week. Yeah. Computers be bleeping. They do be bleeping. They bleep occasionally. They bleep, they bloop. Matilda could be a modern musical. I could do a song from Matilda. Wait. I actually love the music from Matilda, though. That's a great idea. We're onto something here. There is a Matilda musical, yeah. It's great. If you're in England, it won't be out on like a streaming service yet, but if you have Netflix, I think it's available on Netflix most places. We had a theatrical release, so it's not on our Netflix yet, which is very cool. But yeah, they made a movie of the musical, but there's also also a stage musical. It's Tim Minchin, who does some great music. You will soon see there's no escaping tragedy. And even if you put in heaps of effort, you're wasting energy. That's the song that my kid wants to play over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Les Mis is where it's at. I can't do Les Mis. That is another old musical. That song is so smart, though. The school song is so smart. I can't stop talking about how great that reveal was for me. Of like, yeah, I mean, the song, it's catchy. It's fine. It's good. And then realizing when the song was almost over, like, oh my God, the song's in ABC order because it's a school song. It's wild. It was the wildest shit. Trying to remember. Yeah, for whatever reason, when doing these exams, they like modern songs. All of the songs that are in the booklets for you to choose from, the like standardized booklets, they're all like super recent songs, like last 5 to 10 years, you know? My hair looks great today. Thank you. That's very sweet. I was saying that I almost put stuff in my hair today and then decided not to because whenever because it's so short, if I wash it and then put any product in it at all, it's all like I have to immediately wash it again, right? Yeah, I was saying, for those of you who missed this conversation earlier, I'm taking a singing exam just for fun. And 2 of the songs have to come from the workbooks. So I've already chosen those songs. On and On by Erykah Badu and Take Me to Church are going to be the 2 songs that I'm working on that are from the books. And then I was told that I can choose my 3rd song. And I said, I want to do a musical because I think musicals are fun. And she said, that's fine. They'll just want it to be a modern musical. And I was like, fuck, I don't know any modern musicals, really. So now here we are. Those are some fire songs. Yeah. They're, On and On is one that we've been working on for the last couple of days, or the last like 2 or 3 sessions. And I love it. I love singing it. It's so fun. And then we were looking through the booklet and she was like, we were basically looking through the booklet for like altos, sopranos. She was like, let me know if any of these songs stand out to you. But also, you know, we have like the booklet for songs for tenor and bass. We would just have to like, you know, pitch it up so that you could sing it. And I opened the book and I was like, I love Take Me to Church. Can I do Take Me to Church? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. You can do Take Me to Church. So those are the 2 that I'm going to do. And then a musical of some kind. So I'm going to have to, again, I normally don't listen to music from a musical unless I've seen the musical. I hate listening to the music before I've seen it and having no context for the music. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm that way. But I'm going to have to just like deal with it because otherwise I won't be able to choose a song, so. The performance can be whenever. You just submit whenever you're ready. So there's no like pressure or like time on it. She was like, you could really like go hard on it and and prep all the songs within like a month. Or we could go slow and get them really like technically sound and do them in 2 or 3 months. You know, it's whatever. To be fair, with Hades Town, you know the basic story. I do. That is true. I've also watched like a really long deep dive video on how Hades Town was made. So I've heard snippets and bits of the songs in that video. Yeah, I'll listen to some Hades Town music and see. I just want to do, because On and On is very jazzy. Take Me to Church is very like, it's energetic, but it's somber at the same time, you know? I want to do something that is like a high energy song. I think that would be really fun to just break it up, you know? I've been gone for 6 months. What's going on? Something about Dodger singing. I am taking singing lessons now just for fun because I've always wanted to. And my singing teacher was like, you know, they let adults take exams. Would you like to take an exam? And I was like, is there a benefit to me taking an exam? And she said, no, it would just be for fun. And then you could say you took the exam. And I was like, cool, sure. So I'm going to take a singing exam just for fun. Yeah, if you would like to, again, as always, I will not remember a single thing that is being said in chat right now, like actual songs to look up. If you want to suggest a song for me to look at that sounds like it would be like a modern musical song that would suit what I'm trying to do, you can throw it in the stream chat channel on our Discord, and I will check those songs out later. I have that Matilda song stuck in my head now. Fight this mess by being a prince or a princess, you will soon see. There's no escaping tragedy. And even if you put in heaps of effort, you're wasting energy. That girl is so sassy at the start of that song. They just walk up like just normal kids, like, wow, it's our first day of school. And this girl's like, all right, time to ruin this. All this energy you're bringing to school right now, you think you're going to have a good time? No, you're not. It is the alphabet. Yeah, once you know it, you can hear it. Go listen to the actual song. It's very good. Yarp. Oh, goodness. Okay, let's take a quick break. I'll be right back. That's all I got. Wow, my brain is really shot today. Yeah, I'll see you in a sec.
Sorry, chat. Just need one more minute. Okay, hi. Hello, hi.
Hi, everybody. Try not to stress. I'm trying not to stress, dude. I was just talking with Sam, and he was like, I can't find X, Y, or Z thing. I'm like, that's cool. That's fine. We'll find it later. We'll find it later. It's fine. I'm sure we'll find it. I'm sure we'll find those things. It's fine. Everything is totally under control. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, since I'm streaming again tonight with Thierry, I'll probably end early so that I can just try to get some stuff done for this trip. Nodders. Yarp. I've traveled a lot. It's harder with a kiddo. It's also harder when you travel to one destination and then you have to drive a few hours to get to a secondary location, right? So like my parents live in the desert for part of the year, which is where we're visiting them. So we have to fly into LA, pick up a rental car. And then if we weren't staying with Jeannie overnight, we would be driving 3 to 4 hours to get to where they are in the desert, right? So it's just like it's a lot of steps to get to where we're going. And once we're there, it's great. Yeah, well, fortunately, I know how to drive in America, so it's fine. No, Sam is not a citizen. He does still have a valid green card, even though we haven't lived there for 3 years. Yeah, she was in the desert. When did I visit them last time? It was, what, like a year ago? Something like that. Yeah, we're staying with Jeannie overnight. Jeannie's put out the bat signal, so to speak, and been like, hey, you know, Brooke and Sam and Clarky are going to be here overnight. If you want to come by in the evening or in the morning to see them, feel free. Just let us know, you know, sort of a thing. So hopefully we'll get to see some people. I have a cool eye color. Thank you. My eye, depending on how much light is hitting my eyes, they change color. So if I'm talking to a person face to face, typically they look kind of greeny. If I have a lot of light going into the eyes, they look more blue. Changeling eyeballs. We're not moving there. We're still gonna be in England. Everything's fine. We're literally buying a house here. We're not abandoning it. Moving to Australia is not splitting the difference at all. Yay! Yeah, the Dodger coffee sweaters are super soft, aren't they? I'm glad you like it. Are you taking your chickens to a chicken kennel? Well, like to be taken care of over the week? No, my mother-in-law is coming by and taking care of all the animals. They are not hoodies. No, they're crew neck. Plug store, please. DodgerCoffeeCo.com. There's the link. DodgerCoffeeCo.com. We sell coffee. We sell a cocoa/mocha mix. We have honey. We have teas. We have a really soft t-shirt and now a really soft crew neck sweater. Yeah, Sam was like, I want 1 million of these. And a puzzle, that's true. Our puzzle, I do love it. Move in with Tomato. We'd kill each other. What did you think of the Shadow of Doubt demo and current detective games in general? The idea of a procedurally generated detective game is interesting. I can't tell if it's meant to be like kind of a goofy game or if it's meant to be like procedurally generated Hitman, you know? Or like I can't tell if there's a benefit to like taking it super seriously or not, you know, because of the art style and the fact that like things are potentially goofed up, you know? Watermelon oolong, yeah, it's delicious. The watermelon oolong's so good. I've never had any oolong, but I want to. Oolong, I think, not to scare you, I love oolong. I do think that it can sometimes be, it's very earthy. So it's a nice mix, the watermelon oolong, I think, because it has this kind of like earthiness of oolong and the sweet element in there. Yeah, I think it's delicious. But sometimes people just don't like oolong very much. But a lot of people have responded positively to it. What does earthiness even mean? Like, how would you describe like an earthy flavor? It tastes like a plant. It has like, this is dirt adjacent sort of a flavor profile to it. I don't think there's any way to describe what I mean without it sounding extremely unappetizing. I see. Do you have plans to bring back the cold brew? Yes, we've been trying to figure out how to do that. Shipping cold brew that is like pre-made cold brew in bottles is really expensive on our end and on your end. So we've been trying to figure out an alternative for that. Whether that's just putting a cold brew system in our store and being like, you can use our normal coffee to make your own cold brew, or some other option. We're not sure. We've been talking about a lot of different potential things to do. So, but yes, we would like for some form of cold brew to be back in the store. Wet fall forest juice. I'm sold. I love me some bog water. I do love bog water. I tend to, if I'm going to play a demo, I'll play it alongside of other demos, just because demos tend to be pretty short. So if there's a demo I'm interested in playing on stream, I'll normally play it with a few other demos if I'm able to find other demos I'd like to play, or I'll wait for an event like what just happened. The next fests have been happening so often that we pretty routinely get opportunities to play a bunch of demos, you know? What's your favorite tea? My favorite just like tea base is green tea. I can drink just plain ass green tea and love it. The coconut ginger green that we have in the store, I love, because the coconutty flavor isn't super strong. But yeah, green tea based stuff is very good. Big fan. Black tea based stuff is fine, but green tea will always be kind of my favorite tea. I don't know. Oh my god, gunpowder green, yeah, is a whole thing. Yeah, I had a bunch of gunpowder green to get through one time, and it's, yeah. They said it tasted ashtray adjacent. Yeah, it doesn't really have the same vibe as just like a normal green tea, I don't think. I love gunpowder. Yeah, that's great. I didn't think it was bad, but it's not what I wanted to drink all the time, you know? If you dislike gunpowder, you'll hate Lapsang Sochong. I don't think I've ever had it. Black tea consisting of camellia, maybe smoke dried over a pine wood fire. Oh, it's literally like campfire tea. It has an intense smoke aroma that are varied by putting the leaves closer or further away from the source of heat and smoke. The notes are wood smoke, pine resin, paprika, and dried longan. Oh my god. I want to try this. I want to try this now. Mix a little with Earl Grey. Just remember to seal it well or everything smells like a campfire. I'll put it in a jar. Live stream tea react. I was literally thinking to myself, there are people like on TikTok and stuff, right, that will get different teas or different coffees. But the tea ones are always very aesthetic, right? They'll get different teas and they'll make like a whole show of like brewing them in a very pretty pot and stuff, and then they'll pour it and they'll sip it and be like, I really liked this, or it wasn't for me. As a person who I love tea. I love drinking tea. I wouldn't say that I know a lot about tea. Does that make sense? It might be fun to just be like, yep, I made this tea. I don't know if I made it right. I did my best. Do you drink tea with milk? Not normally, no. Green tea I don't drink with anything in it. I don't like anything in green tea. Because I feel like honey, sugar, any of that, it pulls the flavor in a direction that I don't like. So I don't put anything in green tea at all. That certainly is tea. Did I like it? Yes. If I have a cheaper old green tea, raspberry syrup is yummy. Raspberry syrup. That sounds delicious. Have any of you guys listened to the song Where's My Guitar Pick? That's another song that's been stuck in my head recently. Wait a sec. I'm not going to play it for you. I just need to double check the name of the artist. By Memi. M-E-M-I. Where's My Guitar Pick? It's good. It's a bop. You didn't know the artist name? I never know the artist name. Never. Oh my god. You should see me in my singing lessons. My teacher will be like, you know this song? And I'll be like, probably. I would have to hear it because I will not remember the title of the song or the artist. If you play it for me though, I'll probably know every word of the song and exactly how it goes because that's what my memory does. She was really surprised. The very first time that we did On and On, when I came to class the next time, I remembered every lyric. And she was like, oh, did you listen to it in between? And I was like, no. My brain just remembers lyrics really well. It is useful in hyper-specific situations. Couldn't remember Erykah Badu's name, though, at first. So... Megalovania. It is Megalovania. I was just trying to figure out what the name of this song was. It's definitely one of those songs that I feel like is now like part of the culture. Oh my god, yeah. I can't remember what I was watching. I was watching something with a friend and a character was doing that classic thing where like there was opera music playing or something and there was a character that started crying. And my friend was like, I don't understand this scene at all. I said, what do you mean? Or like, I don't understand when they show like someone listening to music and like crying. Like, what is that about? And I was like, have you never listened to music and felt like really like emotional listening to the music? And they were like, no, never. And it was really surprising to me that doesn't happen to everybody. But yeah, apparently that's not like a universal experience, that music like can make you feel like really emotional in one way or another. Yeah, I cry listening to music all the time. I cry listening to music all the time. There are specific tones as well, and specific instruments that really like hit me. Low tones, like really deep tones, cellos. Oh my god. Emotional looking at a pretty picture of the Alps. Dude, it's like that story about that lady. Oh my god, what was her name? I can't remember. There's a whole story about this lady who saw a painting. She went to a restaurant with her parents or something and saw a painting in the restaurant and was like so moved by it was just a random fucking painting, and she was so moved by it that she was like, I will own this painting one day. And it created like this whole crazy series of events where she like years later was like, I wonder if I can find that painting and buy it, because it like moved her so much. I got emotional seeing a tiny watermelon. I think there's some things that maybe people like associate emotionally easier, right? I know a lot of people who have said like, oh, I saw, you know, a sad commercial about a dog and I cried, right? Because I think a lot of us have created that association of like, I love dogs or whatever, you know, fill in the blank on an animal. I love this animal. What a sweet, pure thing in this world. Oh no, the animal's sad. Right? And now I'm crying, right? So I think it has to do with like how connected you are with that thing, maybe. If two characters hug, I'm immediately emotional. Oh my god. Sad dads. Sad dads and things upset me. I don't know why. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched any of The Last of Us show yet, but I have so many friends who are like, The Last of Us! Bleh. And fortunately, none of them have spoiled anything for me except that they cried. and that's fine. I'm okay with knowing that they cried at some point in the show. I wish I could watch it, but I don't have HBO. Yeah, there's no HBO out here, so we don't have it either. No, we're not moving back to the United States permanently. We're seeing my parents for a week. That's it. People have been asking that. It's not just you. People have been asking that frequently enough that now people are asking it as a goof, and I don't know when people are goofing anymore. Yeah, so we're moving. We're moving back forever. No, my parents don't have HBO.
No.
I don't know what's going on here. It's just doing whatever it wants. Yeah, Sam really wants Taco Bell. I really want to go to CJ's. Although where we're staying is not close to CJ's anymore. But we're renting a car, so we can just drive there. I just need to go to a diner. I just have to go to a diner. That's all. No, she remembers the last trip. It was only like a year ago, so she was 3. She remembers the plane. She remembers the trip. She remembers a lot of stuff about it. She was like, you guys need to find my tablet. And I was like, that's very true. We do need to find your tablet. I have no idea. I cannot figure out where that thing has gone. Just one of many things that, of course, the day before we're supposed to leave has just gone missing. Remember things from the 3-year mark? That's nuts. Clark brings up shit from when she was like 2 sometimes. And I'm like, why do you remember this? Why are you bringing this up? It's so wild. She remembers things about the house we were in before this house. So that was when she was like 2 to 2.5, right? Why does she remember that? It's so weird to me. And I know that, like, she'll slowly discard these memories as she gets older, right? Just as we all do. But it is wild to me sometimes, the shit that she'll pull out. She'll be like, do you remember that one time that you brought me to nursery and you forgot this one thing? And I'll be like, yeah, that was like 2 years ago. Why do you remember that? I remember stuff about the first house I lived in. We left when I was 4. Yeah, I guess, you know, some of y'all just got good memories. I have a couple of memories from when I was really little, but they were like scary things. So I think that's why, my animal brain was like, avoid that in the future. That was scary. Right? Um, I have scary memories from when I was little enough that I was still in the crib. But other than that, I have a really vivid memory of being told that I needed to take a nap. And I climbed out of the crib and went to put on my shoes. And my mom came in and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I don't want to take a nap." Vivid memory. Just being like, "No, I don't want to do that." I came online when I was stealing Easter chocolates. I would love to know when Clark gets older. I would love to be like, what is the earliest thing you remember? Yeah, you can't contain me. I'm out. Oh, my daughter remembers the first time she was in hospital for a lengthy amount of time in detail. She'll explain so many different moments. And I'm like, that was 3 years ago. How do you remember that? Yeah, it must have just been like either really scary for her or just, the tension of the situation potentially. She just committed everything to memory, right? Um, I mean, kids are weird. I've talked before about how I convinced myself that if I wasn't looking directly at my parents, they were skeletons. I've definitely talked about this before. I still think about how weird that was. And I still think about it sometimes. There's like a small part. Yeah. So like my mom would call me from another room and there would be like a really loud part of my brain that would be like, if you go around the corner, she might be a skeleton. She might just be a skeleton. And I would panic about it until the moment that I finally saw her and she was obviously not a skeleton. And I would think about that all the time if somebody was calling for me or trying to talk to me from another room. But it's like Schrodinger's skeleton, right? If in my mind it's, if I'm not looking at them, they're skeletons, there's no way for me to prove, right? As a kid in a technology-less world, there was no way for me to prove that they were skeletons or not skeletons. So I had to just be like, I know, you're all making the same joke, and I'm very proud of you. Nah, Toy Story came out when I was old enough that it didn't really have an impact on it. Didn't I wasn't at an age where I was like, what if my toys are alive when I'm not looking at them? It's a strange version of bad object permanence. It's something like that. Yeah, it's a very strange, like, I can't see this thing, so I can't be sure about what state it's in. And my brain is gonna just concoct something buck wild. Anyway, that was the thing I did as a kid, so. No, I need to be clear because a bunch of you guys now were like, do you think other people are skeletons when you can't? This was when I was like 5, 6 years old, okay? This is not a one fear situation for adult me. Ugh. Well, what if it's actually real? That's fine. There's a whole bunch of shit that I'm literally incapable of finding out for sure, and I've accepted that because I'm an adult and I've had to. So if people do transform into skeletons when I don't look at them, that's fine. As long as they're happy and doing well. I have to accept that. Good for them. Good for them. Yeah. I've survived. We've gotten through 35 years on this planet with people transforming into skeletons when I don't look at them, and they're all still trucking, you know, so we're good. That's their business, exactly. That's their business. Yes, exactly. Yeah. This is a skeleton-friendly stream. If you're a skeleton, be sure to subscribe. Thank you. I've gotten a bunch of compliments on my hair today, which is so funny to me because I just washed it and I was gonna do something with it and then didn't. And everybody's like, your hair looks really good today. Thank you. I keep hiding it under a beanie, so everybody's like, wow, hair. Ugh. That's not true. Technically, a skeleton could go to Target and buy those gloves that have receptors on them and be able to use a phone with the special gloves. But you would think if everybody but me was turning into a skeleton when I wasn't looking, that those gloves would be like prime realistic. Like they would be available everywhere because everyone would need them in order to use their phones. So.
Where's my guitar pick? I've got a good idea.
You wonder what I would look like, what, with long hair? I had long hair. It was annoying, and I put it in a ponytail all the time.
Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da.
Wait, what? From who? What is happening? Sorry, one sec. I have a voicemail. I'm trying to figure out who it's from. What? It says I have a voicemail and yet no one called me. All right.
Ba 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 ba. Ba ba da 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 da.
Yeah, we'll stream a little bit longer and then I'm gonna try and get everything sorted for this trip. Bye, darling.
Da 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 da.
Ouch. Oh my god.
Ba 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 ba. Da 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 da.
What's your favorite hair color you've ever had? I did a hair color that was like kind of like this. That was sick. I think it was Manic Panic Enchanted Forest. It was something like that. It was so pretty, dude. That was by far the prettiest color I've ever put in my hair. But it faded really quick. It did not take long for that to fade out. Unfortunate. Yeah, the best colors always fade, dude. Can't believe it. Dodger looks younger than usual with this hair. Yeah. I goofed that when my hair is like this, I feel very high school age. Which is fine. Which is fine, you know. We're doing what we can. No, you want to see something cursed? This is my favorite though. Is this. Clark loves doing this to me. She thinks this is how my hair looks the best. Is like this. She loves this shit. Yeah. This is like one step away from like the cute K-pop boy look. But not quite there. Not quite there. So Looks like a D&D character. The emo boy band look. Oh yeah, I would just have to. I would need it to like sort of do this sort of shit. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Wait. No, come on. Come on now. Come on. Come on. This is it. This is the look. This is it. Just have to get rid of this guy. There we go. Slick it all down. Yeah. Yeah, they're probably in my purse. Okay. One sec. BRB. Okay. Hello, I'm back. But I am gonna leave in a minute here, I think. Just more and more shit keeps stacking up and I'm stressing, dude. Did they move again? We have not moved, but we are trying to buy a house currently. So. Don't be late for the plane. The plane is tomorrow, so it would be so wild if we were late for the plane now. Yarp. Yarp. Dude, it is so much stress buying a house. It's stressful enough trying to do this flight to America, but trying to like pay everything and sign everything and do everything while also getting ready to fly to America with a toddler is a lot. Yeah, Sam. The reason that I was laughing earlier is because Sam messaged me and was like, "Hey, you know that car we booked?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "It wasn't booked for today, right?" I was like, "No, I'm positive it's booked for Saturday." And he was like, "Okay, because they will not stop texting me." It's like they're acting like I was supposed to pick up this car yesterday. Yes, we do live in the United Kingdom. We live in England. We've lived here for about 3 years. We're now buying a house with my in-laws and my sister-in-law, which is super fun. And turning into like a cute multi-generational commune situation. So, you know, it's a lot of money, but there are a lot of people contributing toward it. So that's good, but it's still stressful. Yeah. As someone who needs the solitude, that sounds stressful and crazy to me. I mean, we're not all living in the same house. We're not all in the same house. We all have our space and all of that, our own privacy. But, you know, we all get to share responsibility for things like the garden and upkeeping the property and paying for the house and all of that. We're buying a farm. But will there be chickens? We already have chickens. So, yep. We will continue to have chickens. Yeah, I get along with Sam's family very well. So, I'm not concerned about sharing a property with them. I think it's going to be very fun. Moral for mayor. Oh my god. So, I occasionally check in on the Neon Divide Discord, the like cast one. I think I left the community one a while ago. But I check the cast one occasionally, and they were doing the goof of like, man, our mayor should really put in handrails, right? Because there's so many areas in the Undercity where you can just fall to your death. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess whoever is the mayor should do that. And then one of the like Undercity DMs was like, wait, are you not the mayor? I was like, we didn't vote on it. We didn't vote. Am I the mayor? I don't know. But if even the Undercity DMs think I am, then sure, I will be mayor. Thank you. I accept. The responsibility is clearly yours now. Mayor, but not by choice. I was going to run for mayor. So for those of you who don't know what Neon Divide is, it's a VR LARP basically. And I play a little mushroom person. Well, they're a big mushroom person now. I play a mushroom person. And it's very fun. At the end of last season, we had a situation where we had no mayor. We just don't have like a person who is the person on the council who is intended to represent just like normal people. So we had people to represent all of the different like major factions, but not someone to just be like, I represent the voice of just like the normies that live here, right? And so I was like, I could do that. I could apply for that, right? But I had to miss the last 2 sessions because it was around that time that we had a family member who was very sick, and I was sort of like waiting to hear what was going on with that. So I just didn't do the last 2 sessions. And so I was like, I don't know if they voted for mayor, but if they did, it's fine, right? Like Moral wasn't there. I gave an in-universe reason for why Moral wasn't there. They would not have been able to like go for mayor. So that's fine if somebody else wound up being mayor, right? So it's hilarious now. Being told like, are you not mayor? I could be. Am I mayor? Big in status or big in size? Big in size. Moral was like stunted because they were grown in a lab. But they had a whole magic storyline that happened at the end of last season that I decided with the DMs would like jumpstart them in like sort of a weird way. And so Moral's bigger now. Hold on. I show you picture. Moral, where are you? Oh my gosh, I can't find my Moral pictures. Where's my child? Oh, there they are. Hold on. Moral. That's them. Moral. They're big now. Swishy's been working on them. And Mad Moral. That's my little mushroom duder. I know, they're so big. For reference, this is how big they were before. Wait a sec. So like we've got this now, right? And before they were, oh my god. It's just my normal Moral picture. There it is. I lost it again. Here it is. Before they were like this. So, little Moral and big Moral. I love it. I think Swishy's done a really good job of like aging them up, you know, and so to speak. Big Moral does not have a gun. No, I still have the same flaw. Well, I don't know how they're overhauling the system. Character skill points and all of that stuff is getting a huge overhaul because it wasn't scaling properly and it wasn't working well inside of the system. So they're redoing all of that, and we don't know how it works now. But one of my flaws, you have edges and flaws in the system the way that it has been. So you have things that you are better at than most people, or something that is like an edge that you alone have, and then you have flaws that are like major detriments to you, right? One of my flaws is that I will not use weapons at all. I'm a full ass pacifist. They have a holster on there, like, what's in there? I'm a gatherer, so it's for holding herbs and things to make stuff. The system has like a back-end backpack situation, so you can pick up items in the world and then you can put them into your backpack, which is like a cloud basically. So I wanted something to represent my backpack, so when I'm taking things out of the backpack, it's like I'm taking them out of this like bag that I have attached to my leg. Young Moral reminded me of Kuno? No, not at all. Nothing like Kuno. No, Moral's a sweetie. First season, my major flaw was that I couldn't lie. They socially were not super clear on like what was and wasn't okay to say. My major flaw in season 3 was that I couldn't go into hospitals. And my major flaw now is that because of this magic thing, I overgrow, thus the like body growing, right? I overgrow, and so if something scares me, I root to the ground for 5 seconds, which is, it has to be, your major flaw has to be something that could get you killed. So yeah, if something's chasing me and it scares me, I will be rooted to the ground for 5 seconds before I can run away, which I was told is like what a terrible idea for a flaw, but I committed to it. Commit to the bit, yeah. Yeah, the idea is like they root to the ground. But they also, as like a flavor thing, which is really fun, things grow on them at the same time. And there are 3 different forms that I'm working on with Swishy right now. There are 3 different potential like things that will grow on Moral, and I have to just leave them for the rest of the session. So if something scares Moral, they get rooted to the ground, and then something fucking weird happens to their body, and I have to just roll with it for the rest of the session. Because that part doesn't go away, but I am able to like unroot, basically. So, it's fun. It's fun, fun RP stuff. And my major edge is that I can just, on the fly, create healing stuff. So if somebody's hurting and nobody just, like, has a healing item, I can just be like, I made one right now, right? So at the start of session, I always make 2 and just have them in my bag. And I can just make those for free. There aren't game turns. This isn't D&D. This is LARPing. This is VR virtual LARPing. So you're running around. When I'm in the game, I fully look like that character. I am that model. So yeah, if something's chasing me, they are chasing me while those 5 seconds are going on. The only time that things are stopped is if a DM needs to intervene. So sometimes what will happen is the whole map will go, or like an area will go dark, and there will be a spotlight. The DMs can control that, and that basically tells everybody like stuff is frozen right now while we're figuring out how to resolve this situation right here. It's like someone gets shot. Are they dead or not, right? Everything freezes, and then they'll be like, okay, what's been done to try and help them? Has anybody helped them? Have they been given healing stuff, right? And you recite everything that went down to make sure everybody's on the same page. And then rolls happen. But again, this whole system might be changing. So. How many players are part of this? Oh my god, how many is it? Like 100? There's 4 maps. And each player is attached to a map, but then there are supporting cast players. So there's players that play their character, and then there are players that play supporting characters like guards, burglars, whatever is needed for the session that day. So yeah, and to whoever was asking if it's streamed, a lot of the players stream it. Yeah, I've never streamed it, but a lot of people do. We gaming today? No, I'm ending stream soon. Yeah, it is. It's super fun. We don't know when the next season is starting. But there's been like a huge overhaul and stuff that is currently happening. There's been like a big changing of the guard, so to speak. So we're just kind of chilling and waiting to see. Have you considered reading poetry instead of novels? Yeah, we've talked about doing that before. I know. Yeah. Well, like, yeah, there's, you know, people who are constantly working on the maps, people that are working on the back end stuff, the fact that our has a whole like gathering system, right? That I as a character can spend basically like half an hour to an hour just walking all over the map grabbing everything I need to make stuff is just wild. Yeah, it takes like a whole bunch of people who really love doing it to make that stuff. Yeah, we've got 2 streams left of Dracula before we'll finish it. We're on chapter 20 now. And there's 27 chapters, I think, so. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, with that many people, look, with that many people, messy stuff happens 100%. There's always shit, you know. And again, like has been pointed out, it's so much work. DMs will DM for a few months sometimes and then be like, I cannot. This is so much work. I can't do this, you know. So, yeah, I mean, I think the VRRP community, overall, despite how many people I just said, overall I think is pretty small, right? When I've looked at other VRRP stuff, I've been like, oh, I know that person, I know that person, I know that person, you know, just from being in one of them. Yeah, and generally everybody is very sweet, and they honestly truly believe that like this is a totally new way to do a thing like LARPing, you know, to do it virtually, to be able to literally make a model that looks exactly like who it is that you want to be playing and embody them in virtual reality, right? It's like, it's a whole, it's wild. I don't make models. I've messed around with Blender a little bit. Bro, that shit is so hard. Sketchu made my original moral model. Sketchu is lovely and has made a ton of shit. And then my model that is being made right now is being made by Swishy. It's Swishy, I think is her full like Twitch title. But Swishy is lovely and works her butt off. A lot of people stream it, yeah. Tons of people stream it. How do I do shout outs? Is it / shout out? I'm gonna try. /SO. Oh, /SO. It's Swishy, right? I'm pretty sure. I'll double check. I'll double check. Yeah. Unrecognized command /SO. Y'all led me astray. Yeah, it's fully /shout out. At least that's what the system is telling me. There we go. Cute. Now I know how to do it. Oh, exclamation point SO is the bot one. I see. That makes sense. Neon Divide is in VR chat. Yeah, I don't know that. I think all of the VR RP stuff is in VR chat, but I might be wrong. Yes. Oh my god. Why am I getting so many notices? What's happening? Oh. They're splitting the reception class in two. Because they've determined that the kids are not getting... This is so lovely. They've determined that the kids in the reception class currently aren't getting enough individual attention to make sure that they're all progressing. So they're splitting the class in two so that the kids get more individual attention from their teachers. Great. Great. It's a nice message to get. But friends, I mean, they'll still see each other. It's fine. I have not watched the VR chat doc. I saw the trailer for it, though, when they were making it. There's a kid in her class that has like harsh cut bangs, harsh cut bob, and Clark is obsessed and has been like, "Mommy, I want to cut off all of my hair." And I'm like, that's fine if that's actually what you want to do. You will not be able to put your hair in like pigtails super easily anymore if it's cut as short as you're saying you want it. Maybe we do a little bit longer. It's totally fine. It'll always grow back if you hate it, but I would rather that we didn't do something you hated to begin with. My kid, whole ass, ran after another child on the sidewalk. I was like, please don't run away from me, because there was a kid from her class that she could see in the distance was getting into his car, and she was like, I didn't get to say goodbye to him today, and just bolted. I was like, just bolted, dude. Ran all the way to that person's car and was like, bye. And the kid was like, bye. It was such like aggressive friendship behavior. So silly. Yeah. She will whole ass run after a car to say goodbye to a kid from her class and then be like, I don't have any friends who are boys. I'm like, what about the kid that you ninja runned, that you Naruto runned to so that you could say goodbye? She'll say goodbye to every single child when it's time for pickup. And when we talk later, she'll be like, well, I only have like one friend. And honestly, like, part of me is like, you know, maybe for her that's true, right? She's like, these other kids, I will be kind to them, but they are not my friends. That's fine. It just makes me laugh. She was ready to kick that car over to say goodbye. Yeah, these other children are my coworkers. Exactly. I see them every day, and so I am cordial. I will say goodbye. I want to know I'm in good standing with them, because you never know who is going to be able to support you in your time of need. However, friends, true friends that I would give my life for, one. And you know, maybe this is a result of, I've talked before about how I've tried to make it a point to very casually say to Clark, you know what? Not everybody's going to be your friend, dude. Not everybody's going to necessarily like you or want to hang out with you all the time, and that is super fine. Because there's also going to be kids that you don't want to hang out with, right? And like, it doesn't mean that either of you is a bad person. It just means that they're not the person that you want to like spend your time on, and that's totally fine, right? Because I have dealt with like people pleasing tendencies for too long, and I just don't want her to deal with that shit. So maybe this is a result of that. Her being like, yeah, you know, we all breathe the same air, mother. We played Math Sparkle together. I won, but they did fine, I suppose. I will say goodbye to them, but they are not my friends. There's a game they play called Math Sparkle, apparently. And she, I guess, is very good at it. I'm happy for her. Boundaries, you know? Yeah, there's an episode of Recess about that. There's also an episode of Hey Arnold about that. If I recall correctly, there's an episode in a lot of kids shows that were along those lines of like, it is okay for you to not be friends with everybody, right? It's okay for somebody to just like not totally vibe with you. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you or them. It just means that you might be incompatible friends. That's not bad, right? There are plenty of people that you can get along with just fine if you crave that social interaction. It's just not this person, you know? The episode of SpongeBob where the dude wants to beat SpongeBob up. Exactly. Math Sparkle is a great normal type attack. Pokemon. Yeah, Math Sparkle. Apparently it's very similar to like a game where it's basically like you're counting as high as you can, I guess. And once someone says the wrong number, then they're out. It's that sort of a thing. And since my kid is a chronic counter, she's like, yeah, I'm pretty good at Math Sparkle. I basically always win. Like, I'm very happy for you, honey. I'm glad that you're crushing it at Math Sparkle. Mommy, my numbers. Mommy, my numbers. God, that's so good. We played a Picross game forever ago, and Clark came to visit me, and got really upset when she had to leave. If I recall correctly, that was the situation. She had to go. She's like, but Mommy, my numbers. Yeah, this is why I was saying, in our apocalypse situation, right, where I'm the stay-at-home nester that's keeping everybody fed, and Sam is out probably hitting things occasionally. Clark's our accountant, dude. She's figuring out the economy of this new world. That's her. Oh, congrats, Greg. Yeah, kids are wild. I remember when we first had Clark, a lot of people would say things like, yeah, you're not going to sleep very well, but it'll go by so fast. You know, they'll say the first 4 months are really hard, but they go by so fast. And that is true, because your life is in a whirlwind. With a new baby, your life is in a whirlwind, right? And time just like slips by in super weird ways. But it doesn't mean that it isn't hard, right? You might find that like a lot of the parents that you talk to, or even maybe like the grandparents in the situation, if there are any, you might find that the way that they talk about it is kind of dismissive because they've already been through all of those stages, right? And to them, the more important stuff comes after that. But like you're in it, right? Like you're living in the stage of we're not sleeping. We're not sleeping, and we're, you know, like this little thing is learning to be a person, but we're also learning to be parents, and it's new and it's wild, right? So be patient with yourself and try, if people are if other parents in your life are tending to give you advice that feels sort of dismissive of your situation, it's just because for them, that was so long ago and it felt like it just vanished, right? And so them looking back, it's harder for them to remember what it was like to be in that, you know? But try to like take some heart from the fact that you will hit a stage where you're like, oh my God, remember how hard that was? I'm so glad that's over, you know? It's wonderful. It's really amazing. I love being a parent. Every stage is hard, but it's also amazing. Yeah. I lived the first 4 months in 3-hour chunks between feedings. Oh my God. Yeah. You like being a parent because Clark is a content goldmine? I feel like I do a pretty good job of keeping... I tell a lot of stories about Clark, but I feel like I do a pretty good job of keeping Clark out of my content. Especially as she's gotten older. I've tried to just keep her off camera as much as possible. I try to tell stories that are like, I don't know. I try not to tell things that are personal, you know, that are like deeply personal, or like things that future her would hate that I talked about on camera, you know. I try to gear towards things that are more like, as a parent, I dealt with this thing in this way. But, you know, I'd also like to move away from doing that as she got older, because the situations that I deal with as a parent in her life are going to become more personal, you know, and things that are just between her and I. So what's your favorite part about being a parent? My favorite part is, I'm trying to think of how to put this in a way where it doesn't sound like a Hallmark card. My favorite part about being a parent is seeing an interest take root in my kid, because there are things that you'll notice your kid just kind of like naturally gravitate toward, and maybe it doesn't go anywhere, but sometimes it fully like nests in their mind, right? And becomes like something that they deeply care about. Clark sings and dances all day long. She always wants to do arts and crafts. She comes home and sometimes Sam will be like, do you want me to turn the TV on? And she's like, no, I need to make a unicorn mask right now, right? Like, and you can tell she's been thinking about making a unicorn mask all fucking day, right? Like, it's just cool. It's really interesting. And like, as she gets older and she learns new things, she's able to figure out new ways to do stuff. So she'll revisit the same idea over and over again and do it differently. And, you know, not necessarily better, but like, just differently, right? And sometimes she thinks of things that I just don't think of, because she's not contained in the same box of like what makes sense and what doesn't that I am, because she's 4, right? It's cool. It's really cool if you're able to like actively engage with your kid a lot. You'll see how the way that their mind works is constantly changing, and you'll notice the moments when something has clicked and unlocked like 20 doors for them. There was like a key thing, right? If you imagine that they're just walking down this hallway, there'll be like a door, and there's something that is so difficult for them to get, but once they get it, it opens up and they're suddenly in this big room with a bunch of doors that are just open to them, right? And it's so neat to see them make new connections and ask new questions. I love that shit. It's so fun to me to talk to Clark and think about like what it was like to talk to Clark a year ago and how different it is now, you know? I remember when I was really little, we watched 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. There's a scene where a character gets shot. I kept yelling, why can't they just put a Band-Aid on it? My parents explained why that wouldn't work, and I kept arguing that they could just put a bigger and bigger Band-Aid on it. Oh, that's very cute. Yeah. Why couldn't they just put a band? They could. It just probably wouldn't have helped too much. I was screaming. Dude, we took... No spoilers. The new Puss in Boots movie is great. We took Clark to see it, and she was very invested. Invested enough that there were some scenes that she straight up couldn't watch, which was totally fine. And we kept telling her, like, if there's a scene that's too scary, if there's something that's too upsetting, you can sit in one of our laps. You don't have to watch. We'll tell you when the scene's over, you know. Whatever you need, honey. It's totally fine, because we had been told that the antagonist in that movie can be a bit scary. The sort of things that upset her, sometimes it was that, but the sort of things that upset her enough that she, like, yelled at the screen were surprising to me. There were a couple of things where, to her, it was that same sort of a thing, where to her, she was like, this doesn't make sense. Why is this happening this way? Right? And Sam would be like trying to whisper explain to her what was happening, because there was something about it that was more like the meaning of it or the impact of it was lost without having a bit more like of a social understanding of the situation. Does that make sense? So a character would do something or say something and she'd be like, why did they say that? Like, just aghast. And we'd be like, how do we explain all of the things, the building blocks that make it so this joke makes sense, you know? Yeah, and you know, my dumbass, Sam and I, as parents, we looked at each other and we were like, we should encourage her to question everything. Right? We should encourage her to question authority. We should encourage her to question when things don't make sense. And we as parents should do our best to answer any question that she has. And if we don't know, it's okay for us to say that we don't know. And so in a situation like that, when she's like, why did they say that? If we don't answer, she'll just keep asking. She'll just keep yelling, why did they say that though? Until we're like, okay, let me explain to you why they said, okay, so so the big character, like trying to like whisper explain shit to a child in a movie. I don't regret it. I still think it's the right call, but it leads to funny situations like that sometimes. All right. I should wrap up now. You know, only an hour early than what I normally would have ended, but it'll give me just a little extra time to try and get shit together, you know? So. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be hopping on a plane to go to America. I've tried to create a situation where we have content to put up while I'm gone, only a couple things. And then the rest of the time can be reruns of VODs. If for whatever reason the pre-made content doesn't work, I will make sure that we're able to do it after I get back so that you can see it. But yeah, hopefully there will be a couple new things as well as some reruns for you guys to watch while I'm away. What else? I am doing Final Fantasy tonight, so if you're looking for something to watch, I'll be there. I'll probably only be there for a couple hours. Again, because I want to make sure I get a good night's sleep and stuff. On Twitch, yeah. Can one day be all the Dracula streams back to back? I don't know if all the Dracula streams are still in our content log on Twitch. But if they are, sure. I don't see why not. Probably not all of them. Yeah, I would be really surprised. Ba 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 ba. Da, 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 da. First one definitely isn't. Well, we redid the first one. It's not just like buried inside of a VOD of something else still. I know they're all on YouTube, but if we're rerunning them, it would be nice if they were still on Twitch. I'll check and see what we have on Twitch. Can you upload videos as highlights? I can't rerun a highlight. So even if I was like, yeah, sure, I'll upload a video to Twitch, I can't then rerun it. If I could, that would fix everything, actually. All of my issues would be fixed. Anywho, let's read off our activity feed. Oops. There we go. Okay, we have some Valentines. Akabara said this one's for you and your family. Safe travels. I hope you have a great time visiting your side of the family. Have a great trip. Enjoy your time off. I'm hoping the little one has a great time visiting. Thank you. Eggs and Mint said, I wanted to say thank you so much for being a true safe space for LGBTQ plus folks. There's been some really disheartening things happening lately in that regard. Knowing that this is one of the places I don't have to worry about that sort of thing at all is honestly really reassuring and comforting. That means a lot to know that you feel that way and that others feel that way. So that's a really important thing to me. So I'm very glad that you feel that way. Marianne says to Watson with the apostrophe bracket, which is now, I guess, hi to Watson specifically. Arnar said, in the wise words of Watson, on this day, 2023, apostrophe bracket. We can all learn something from Watson. I agree. Raid Leader is open if anybody would like to snag it. Otherwise, I'll send you guys to someone else after I've read off the activity feed. 2 days ago. Too far. All right. Suchi, thank you for the 33 months. Lee Scoresby for the 101. Thaumic for the 92. Blair Adana, thank you again for the raid. If anybody stayed after Blair's raid, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yellow Gummy Bear, thank you for the 21. Moneyfish for the 19. An anonymous gifter gifted a couple of subs. Thank you to whoever that was. Dojum's gifted a sub as well. Thank you. Puff Maggie, thank you for the 31. Jodalern for the 97. Imthams for the 66. Odev for the 6 years. Happy anniversary. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Astra for the 93. Sowofis, thank you for the 2. Jerry Reg for the gifted sub, thank you very much. Kref for the 15. Mr. Squishy for the 35. And Fabulous Wedge, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the Cat Gang. I appreciate it. I'm going on vacation. I will be here for a short stream tonight. And then I'm going to be in America. I'm going to be in America. Great. Okay. All right. I will find someone to raid. Ooh, Gab Smolders is doing an indie horror day. I know that's a totally different vibe than what we've got going on right now, but Gab is lovely. So if you'd like to check out what she's doing, here we go. Boop. Go say hi to Gab. Super, super lovely friendo. I'll see you guys in a few hours for some Final Fantasy 14. If I don't see you for that, I'll be back in a week, okay? And we'll try and make sure that we set up some content and things. And that's it. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.